So let's see cyber fraud techniques. First one is hacking. Now the purpose or intention of hacker might be good or bad. The purpose of a hacker is to just seek information from the system. They don't want to damage the system. They just want to seek information from the system, but they are doing it using unauthorized access. Okay, so that is basically hacking. Here we don't have any criminal intentions or intentions of damaging the system. We are just here to obtain some information. How we will do it? We will just hack the system. We will not damage the system. The next one is cracking. Now, cracking, we have a malicious intention, we have a criminal intention, we want to damage the information system or use it for our personal gain. So this is the difference between hacking and cracking. Cracking, we have a malicious intention. In hacking, we don't have a malicious intention. Once again, in hacking, we don't have a malicious intention. We don't want to damage the system. In cracking, we have criminal intention. We want to damage the system. Okay, so this is the difference between hacking and cracking. Now data diddling. We have seen what is data diddling. Yes, can anyone explain what is data diddling?
Changes are made to the data after it is entered into the system.
Yes. What we will do is we will go into the employee database. We will alter his qualification and all. So that is basically data diddling. We are changing the data once it is entered into the system. Then data leakage. The shredded documents, the dumped documents and all. What we will do is we will use it to prepare the original documents again. Okay. So this is the exposure, data leakage. Scavenging is an attack. Yes, in this same question, you will also see scavenging later. So these were the 4 cyber fraud techniques: hacking, cracking, data, hacking, cracking, data, data diddling, data leakage, data diddling, data leakage, hacking, cracking, data. After that, denial of service attack. Denial of service attack. Now, in case of stock exchanges, the information or the prices, they are being constantly updated with a time lag of 10 seconds or 5 seconds. What we will do is we will send the viruses or we will try to affect the information systems so that they don't change for about a minute or 2 minutes. What will happen is because of this, if there are any fluctuations in the price, they will not be shown in the screen, but they're actually happening in the market. So what is denial of service attack? We will try to lag the system processes to achieve an unfair advantage. Okay, here remember the example of NASDAQ. What is NASDAQ? It is a stock exchange. It was bombarded by the hackers. What is bombarded by the hackers? They were using logic bombs and time bombs. Why they were using it? To delay the processes of the stock exchange. Then internet terrorism. Now what is internet terrorism? Now Sony company, it has branches all over the world. It has franchises and all. Sony refused to open its franchise in North Korea. Why? What is the problem with North Korea? Does anyone know what happens in North Korea? There is a specific person there. Do you know the name of that person?
Kim someone.
It's Kim Jong. So the Sony company, they refused to open their center in the North Korea. So what the North Korean hackers did was they did internet terrorism. All the franchises, all the websites of the Sony, what they did was they attacked the websites. Now, when an attack on such a large scale is done to affect the website or a certain company, it is called as internet terrorism. So here remember the example of North Korea and Sony company. Okay, this has happened That is why I'm giving this example. Internet terrorism. Then logic and time bomb. You know this. What is logic bomb? You are using unauthorized logic to get unauthorized access. Then time bomb. After a specific event has happened, this time bomb will disrupt the entire system. Then masquerading. Masquerading is basically phishing. Okay, what is masquerading? We are wearing a mask to pretend to be someone else. Yes, you have seen that video of Tom Cruise. He was pretending to be someone else. He was pretending to be army officer. Okay, that wearing that mask, it is called as masquerading. Okay. Now, the difference between masquerading and phishing is, in phishing, we are preparing a website. We are trying to become a trustworthy entity. In masquerading, we are trying to be a user. Okay. In phishing, we are trying to be a trustworthy entity or a website. In masquerading, we are trying to become a authorized user. So remember that Tom Cruise example for masquerading and that ICI website example for phishing. After that,
So, could you again tell the difference? I'm sorry.
between masquerading and phishing.
Yes, sir.
Phishing is we are trying to be like a trustworthy entity. That is the ICAI website. That is what happens in phishing. In masquerading, we are trying to become like a user. We are pretending to be a user. Like Tom Cruise was pretending to be an army officer, which he was clearly not. So what he was not doing phishing, he was doing masquerading. He was wearing a mask to pretend someone else. In phishing, we are preparing a website which looks like the original website. Yes, have you understood now?
Yes, sir.
After this, password cracking. Okay, you must have done this. Sometimes we forget the password of our mobile phones or your social media accounts. What you do is you try to put one or two, three passwords. After that, they send you an email for verification and all. So to avoid password cracking. But what happens now is after you enter the password, you are clicking on login. So after that, it is telling you that your password is incorrect. Now what we will do is we will use a software that will identify the passwords that were used or you have entered into that field earlier. You will attach that area to that software, and that software will tell you what were all the previous passwords in the 1 year that you have entered into that field. Out of that, you will use one or two passwords to identify, and then that is how password cracking is done. Okay, another example of password cracking is we will put that spray on the laptop's keys. You can see what keys were earlier used to enter the password, and this okay, fine. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to gain access to the system by cracking password. We are trying to guess the passwords by using techniques. Then piggybacking. What is piggybacking?
Following an authorized person.
Following an authorized person. Now one more example of this is there is a person who is sitting, means who lives across my society. From my window, I can see what he is doing because his window is open. So if he is sitting with his laptop in the window, I can see practically what he is doing on his laptop. So I am not the authorized user, but I can still look into his information system because he has left a vulnerability open. That is what is basically piggybacking. Here, an unauthorized user uses the vulnerability to gain access through a authorized user. Then round down, you know what is round down? A small fraction so not a small fraction, the decimal value will be transferred to the perpetrator's account. Then scavenging, we have already seen scavenging. We will try to generate original documents from the shredded documents or the dumped documents. So this is just a list of all the exposures, all the cyber attacks and all. They are still saying it is a cyber fraud technique. Then social engineering techniques. What is social engineering techniques? Yes, do you have any idea what it is?
Basically, giving out information using the social media. It's a trick basically used by the hacker.
Okay. Yes, anyone else?
Sir, I think that my sim is, I mean, I'll tell that my sim is some lost and you explain the same thing like employee and another person entering into this
Yes, that is
organization saying that
correct. Yes, that is exactly what is social engineering. What we will do is we will find whether an employee is a new employee, he doesn't know what can happen in IT company. Okay, similarly, if you join IT company, now the hackers know that this person doesn't have the knowledge of what all has happened in the organization first. So what they will do is they will try to become friends with you. Then they will enter the organization as your friend, as a relative or something, and then they will plant devices or use terminals to hack the system and all. This is also social engineering technique. There is one more social engineering technique. Your laptops and your somewhere you will store your passwords. Okay, you will make for Instagram I have this password, for Facebook, for Google, for bank and all. You will make a list and somewhere you will store that. So what we will do is we will take the information out that where he stores this information. Now how we will do that? We will try to provoke him by either because he has a substance addiction or he has a gambling problem and all. So what you will do is you will try to make him lose in gambling so that he can reveal that information, or after he has lost in gambling, you will tell him, if you can't pay this amount, you have to do an act for me. You have to do something for me. So what you are doing is you are trying to trick that person into doing something for you. That is what are social engineering techniques. Now, one more example. Why I'm giving this example? Because this has happened with me. On Telegram, there are fake accounts which tell you that you can get a MacBook or a iPhone for 5,000 rupees or 6,000 rupees. They will not send you messages and all. They will display ads in certain groups. So after that, they will show you the screenshot that this is the feedback we got from our customers. They will try to contact you. They will show you the prices and all that why, and they will also try to tell you the reasons why we are charging such low prices. Okay, so those are basically fake Telegram channels. See, they are explaining it to a such a level that you actually believe them that it can happen. These are also social engineering techniques they use. This is all covered in social engineering techniques. Now, in my case, what happened was, what happened with my friend was, after he made the payment, the hacker, he called him and he started making fun of him that what kind of idiot he is, who gives you MacBook for 5,000 rupees. You are illiterate. You are not worthy to be a, educated person. All. So that my friend, he went into depression after that incident happened. So that is what is social engineering techniques. He will trick you to get information from. Then super zapping. Okay, trapdoor we have already seen. What is a super zapping now? Yes, have you seen that movie Bahubali?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in that movie Bahubali, whatever may be his obstacle, he will jump through it and straight away he went and a person was there. She was actually his mother. He didn't know at that moment, but he went there. Whatever obstacles were coming in between, he was just bypassing them. Okay, so that is what is super zapping. Okay, that is something, whatever maybe the controls organization has, whatever maybe the obstacles organization has imposed, so that to stop the virus or the hacker, there is one software that will bypass everything. Okay, that is what is super zapping. You will straight away get the access to the system. That is what is super zapping. So it can bypass all the controls, all the obstacles in one go. That is what is super zapping. There are specific softwares which are designed by the hackers and crackers to conduct this super zapping. Okay, why I use that example of Bahubali? Because there were a lot of controls, lot of obstacles, but still he was able to retrieve his mother. That is what is super zapping. Now, trapdoor. What is a trapdoor? It is basically the door we were talking about in the maintenance room. Using the maintenance room door, the friend or relative, he will enter the organization and do whatever he wants to do. Now tell me, to avoid that kind of threat like trapdoor, what are the controls you will use?
Access control.
Logical access controls.
Yes, in that logic. Okay, for trapdoor, you will use logical access control. Okay, we saw deadman doors. What are deadman doors?
Only one person is allowed inside. The two doors will be there.
The another door will not open unless the person has entered the room and the previous door has closed. That are deadman doors. Two doors will never open in the organization, and only one person will be allowed to pass through that door. That is what deadman door. Okay, so if the hacker is using a trap door, then you need to have a deadman door. Yes, have you understood the techniques? Yes, do you need more clarification about super zapping? Have you understood super zapping actually?
So can you give us a real life example? Like Bahubali is fiction.
For super zapping,
Yes, sir.
tell me if there is a threat of information for Facebook, who is the person I should threaten to give information from Facebook? Who is the one person everyone's know that we can threaten to get information from Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg, okay, the developer of Facebook. Now, Mark Zuckerberg, he has information about all the users in the world, okay? So he has control on information all over the world. If you make him, give information and all, what he will do is he will do super zapping, because he is the owner of the organization. He can do whatever he want. He can go through all the obstacles, and you can bypass all the controls. Okay, that is the authorization he has got. So that software for bypassing and overriding everything, that is present in the system itself. So what we will do is we will just activate that system for super zapping. Yes, sir. Have you understood now? Because see, they will never announce on TV that if super zapping has happened in any company, but we know that it is a cyber fraud technique because it has happened. We just don't disclose the real life cases. Yes, did you understand super zapping? For,
Yes, sir.
for Reliance, Mukesh Ambani will have this access to such software. so that they can control and they know what is happening in the organization, because it is the responsibility to know what is happening in the organization. If you tell the owner that you don't have access to or a clearance for accessing this information, what will happen? So that is how we can do super zapping. Okay, there is a web series called Black Mirror. In that one episode is there where there is a problem with the application, and the application owner, he installs a God mode in the software. What is God mode? Using that software, he can alter the entire application. That is basically super zapping. Okay, so let's recapitulate everything. I will ask you a question. Tell me which technique I am using. Okay. Now I am pretending to be authorized user.
Masquerade.
Masquerading. Okay. Here we have masquerading. After that, North Korea attacked Sony.
Internet terrorism.
Yes, internet terrorism. Then hackers attacked stock exchange, Nasdaq.
Denial of service attack.
Denial of service. After that, okay, and we will continue now. Yes, did we cover all the questions we were supposed to cover today?
Impact of cyber frauds we just missed it, sir.
Okay, impact of cyber frauds. I think we skipped that question by mistake. Impact of cyber frauds. See, these points are similar to points of computer crime exposures, which we saw in logical access controls. If you want, you can prepare a comparison chart. All the points are same in impact of cyber frauds and computer crime exposures of logical access controls, financial loss, legal repercussions, loss of credibility, sabotage, and disclosure of confidential sensitive information. Tell me which one point is missing here?
Spoofing.
Spoofing. But we have already seen a spoofing in one of the cyber attacks. It is like phishing only. Phishing or masquerading. Okay. Depending on the quality of attack, we will say it is either phishing or masquerading, or yes, that is all. Okay, shall we stop now? Do you want me to revise the entire chapter again now, or will you do it? See, the key to remembering all the points is do 3 points or 4 points at a time. If there are a lot of points, try to categorize the similar points, understand the structure of the question, do structuring, categorizing, and divide the points into 3 or 4 points. Obviously, we'll do in the class also. But till the time I give you the notes and PPTs and all, use those techniques. Okay, we'll stop now. Any queries? Any queries you have?
So certain points we've written only the side headings or something like that. Like for instances, uh, we had this access control mechanisms like application software, data dictionary, data, and all that. So we just need to write the headings only, or should we write some points inside?
No.
Because
only headings. Okay, we don't have to define what it is. Data dictionary, data warehousing, and all. Just in a single line they have finished it. Just remember those points. Yes, is data dictionary and all. Can you find any explanation in the material? Have they defined it?
In the 5th chapter, I guess it's there, sir. I don't know. In the
Data
5th chapter,
dictionary.
yes, sir.
Okay, then we will see it whether it is chapter, because I don't remember it, data dictionary. So, but I have explained it now. What is data dictionary?
Yes, sir. But I just wanted to know whether in that question should we write
Yes,
anything
yes.
further, because
No, don't write it because it is just a list. We can't explain everything there. You have to write the straight away 8 points for 4 marks. We don't have to explain them. Okay, so by now you must have understood what are the types of questions. In some questions, you will just mention the headings. You don't have to explain them. In another type, you have to explain not all the points, but only 4 to 5 points as per the marks and all. Just understand the structure of question and make your planning in the first 15 minutes when you get your question paper. Okay, we'll stop now. Thank you, everyone.
thank you, sir.